Hi everyone, it's Kathy Schmitt, the Backyard Stamper, and happy Thursday night. I'm so happy to be here with you. I've had an extremely busy week, and last night and today and tomorrow is the virtual album retreat that Stampin' Up is hosting, and so I have been watching that. It starts at 4 o'clock my time, which is great because I'm just getting out of work, but it goes till 11 o'clock. So I haven't been able to do the crafting along, but that's okay. I'll get to it when I can, but it's fun to watch, and I'm learning lots of new techniques. So hopefully I can bring you some of those techniques on my Sunday morning scrapbooking classes. So today we're going to be all about the water. Let's all relax, grab your coffee, and have a seat at the beach, right? So I'm going to flip the camera down and we will get started. All right. Let's see here, right about there, I think, maybe. So you don't see too much of my mess there. There we go. All right. So if you're new to my channel, I come live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and I would love for you to sign up for my newsletter. And if you have any questions, you can visit my blog, backyardstamper.com, or email me at kathy@backyardstamper.com. So let's get my mouse out of the way. Let me show you the cards we're going to be making. I actually put them all in the bins, so hold on one moment while I get them out. So I've got that one. One more. See, I was so organized. I put them all in my bins and should have waited. There we go. Okay. Whoops. Almost have a craft-a-lanch. So we're going to be making these 3 cards. They are really fun, but so easy. I think you're going to be surprised. Hi, Stephanie. She says her mom is watching watching me on TV. Oh, wow. While sitting out on the patio. How lovely. And I have to say hi to my mom. Hi, Mom. I know you're watching. And Debbie's here too. So thank you for coming along. So this is going to be our first card tonight. Let me set those there so I don't get any ink on them. We are using this brand new designer paper that will be out on May 5th. It is called Scenic Coast. It is 6x6 paper. You get 48 sheets, and it's got like holographic on it. See the shine? And it's $17. So let me flip through my pages. The back side is great. They're like matte. So when you get your strips, sometimes you end up with a lot of strips. You can do lots with this. Let me make sure I'm not getting the glare from my plastic. So isn't that fun? Oh my gosh. These are so realistic. I would have loved to seen the concept artist as she painted these, because they are amazing. And you know, they can be ocean, they can be lakes, they could be rivers, ponds, whatever. The colors in it are balmy blue, blueberry bushel, crushed curry, gorgeous grape, Highland heather, and strawberry slush. So that's what we're going to use tonight. And again, that's going to come out on May 5th, as well as this stamp set and die set. Hi, Becky. I can't wait to see you on Saturday. All right, so this is a bundle called Sunset Coast, and I'm going to be using the greetings wherever this note finds you, ... I hope it finds you happy. So look at how cute the inside looks. And this is great because this looks like Cabo, and you've got your water scenes that really is so realistic when you stamp these too. And then the dies are awesome. So, oh, we need this one. So what you do is you get this netting and these circle ones that cut out the scene. So this is a circle die that cuts out the inner parts and leaves you with the pieces, and it doesn't cut like the full circle. You get the background. So let me show you. There's a lighthouse, the sailboat, and then the sunburst one. So we're only going to use this one here. Hi, Susie. Thanks for coming on. Alrighty. Let me put that away. So we're going to be using a piece of basic white thick, 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded in the middle. Make sure my bone folder is right here too. I've got like, I don't know, 5 packages of dimensionals in my basket here, and they are causing everything else to fall out. And I cut a piece of designer paper. This is 3 3/4 square. That is supposed to be a solid piece. So I can show you. Hold on, let me grab it. All right, so I've got my 3 3/4 inch blueberry bushel, and this is a 4-inch square of crushed curry. I used 12 by 12. You can use regular cardstock if you want. It's totally fine. So see, that's the darker side of the two-tone, and that's the lighter side. So my piece is going to go like that, and this is the same size, so it's going to go right behind it. Okay, so what you do is you're going to center your sailboat. Make sure your sailboat or your water is, you know, horizontal. Tape that down. Let me lower that just a smidge. Okay. Tape that down like so. Run that through the cut and emboss machine, and you end up with a piece that looks like this. Look at the detail on this. It's awesome. So now what I'm going to do is attach this piece right behind it. So there's 8 different scenes of sunset, and you get 6 of each one. So you can really play with this a lot. I'm using my fine tip glue because I want to make sure the glue goes only where I want it to be. Let me grab my glue mat just in case. I'm laughing because Stephanie just said I need to take a magic eraser to my bone folder to clean it. You know, Steph, I never thought of that. I have cleaned it with like alcohol wipes. I never thought of the magic eraser. I will give that a try. So I'm just lining it up to make sure that I got no peekaboos, and I do have, whoops, I do have a little edge here that I'm going to snip off, but I'm going to let that set up for a minute. And let's go ahead and do our stamping. So I'm going to open my paper. I'm using blueberry bushel, and I have this wherever this note finds you, ... I'm going to go ahead and stamp it near the bottom. So if I put my crushed curry, that's a 4-inch square, then I know my words need to stay pretty much at the bottom. And that's what I'm going to do. So, wherever this note finds you, ... Always do your stamping first so that if you needed to cover it, I could slide, say this misstamped or something, I could slide this piece down and put that at the top. So there's always a way to fix things, but you need to stamp first. All right, let me just spray. I am really into using my scrubby pad. And I think it's just because with photopolymer stamps, sometimes the chamois doesn't get in the nooks and crannies, especially if you're on words. So let me put that back. All right, and then I've got my ... I hope it finds you happy, because I said wherever this note finds you ... So let's go ahead and put this on. And that came out pretty good. And then I'm going to do this water, and I'm going to stamp that off. So let me grab my scratch paper, and I'm going to stamp that off and put that. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do my sailboat first. So I'm going to put my sailboat right under my words, like so. And then I'm going to stamp my water right under, like so. Pretty easy. So this card is done for stamping. Let me just clean up and close up my ink pad. All right, and let's bring this back in. So now I'm going to just take a little snippy snip of this. I'm just trimming that little smidgen off with my scissors. There we go. Hey Donna, how you doing? Are you coming to class on Saturday? I'm only going to have a morning session, just so you know, because I'm helping my folks out with some stuff. So I wanted to have my afternoon available. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Ooh. And then this, so everything, nothing is popped up on this card. And so I can put this right, make sure my margins look pretty even, make sure it's straight, and ta-da. This card, I got to do my gems though. Hold on one moment. Now these gems are part of the 2025-2027 in color. And these are the in color pearls. So I have a bunch of these, but look, everyone has a bunch of yellow. I used all of the cloud cover, or the Secret Sea, and all of the Timid Tiger, it looks like, or most of them, but not many yellows. So let me grab my Take Your Pick tool. In the process of me making these cards, I misplaced my crumb cake ink pad and my pecan pie ink pad. I don't know where they are, but there, that's it. This is card number 1. See, I used 2 different kinds of paper. They both look fantastic, don't you think? The paper does all the work. And when that paper goes live on May 5th, I suspect it's going to sell out. I was really lucky and won it as a prize and at the onstage. All right, let me just move this box out of the way. I'm gonna make sure it's not somewhere precarious where it can fall off. And we'll move this over. Oops, what happened? Hold on. There you go. See, I moved it, and there we go. All right, so here we go. Now I'm going to do this card here. This is fun. So this looks just so realistic to the ocean. And, you know, you're on this, you pick out your spot, you, you lay down your towel, and the waves come, the tide comes in and gets you. So this will be fun. So let me show you how we're going to do that. Or let me show you the bundle first. This is Rolling Waves, and it's back in stock, guys. This keeps coming in and out of stock, so you want to grab it. The stamps are amazing, and the dies are really fun. So you get these two dies, which make your umbrellas, shells, and stars, starfish, a fern, a whole conglomerate of the shells and starfish, and more water pieces. So let me show you what we are going to, what the water looks like. So we have this big stamp is going to make the majority of the water. I need my scratch paper for this one. And this is where I lost my, oh my gosh, I just found my crumb cake. It was right in the box all along. Oh my gosh. All right, goody. Good, good, good. Don't you love it when that happens? All right, so let's see what we've got for pieces here. We're going to use crumb cake. This piece, this is my scrap for my sentiment. Those make the water. So I've got a scrap of basic white. It's 5.5 by 3.5. It's much bigger than we need, but I wanted to have some options for people. I've got pieces for my umbrella. I've got my 2 beach towels. There's another umbrella. And then here are my other waters. So this is Balmy Blue, and it is, should be 4, yep, a little bigger than 4.25. So I've got that, and I think I cut that a little bit smaller actually. And then my inside piece is 4 by 5.25. And this here is crumb cake, 8.5 by 5.5. Okay, so let's set, let me see what I'm doing here. All right, first off, what they're going to do is cut this through the die cutting machine, okay? And what you end up with are 2 pieces of white that look like this. So this piece here is this section here. So we can color it with, let me move that out of the way. We can color it with the blending brush. That works great. But we can also use this big stamp, which I tried it on this one. This one I did the blending brush. So this one came out a little darker, but we'll see how it looks. But first, let's take this one. We're going to use Balmy Blue. Yes, you know what? This, in real life, it looks green. That is what, I don't know what happened with the ink on crumb cake and even on the side. Yeah, I don't know what it was. And my ink pads aren't in the window or anything like that. So I don't know what happened, but yeah. Okay, so this piece here is actually one of those pieces that has the pattern on the stamp, if you can see that. It's not a solid, it's a big piece, but there's little texture already on the stamp. And so the way I did my water was I just stamped it and stamped it. just like that. And then I might come in, stamp off a little, and come down from the top a little bit. So there's my water. Let me just give that a little scrubby. All right, and then next, so I already blended this with my my brush, which is right here. Like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this. Now you have to make sure that you cover that little notch there, because you're not going to be very happy if your water has a blue notch in the middle. So just push this up until it hides it. So it looks like that, and I'm going to just put a dab of glue, and the top, remember, gets pushed up, so I'm going to just run a little bit of glue towards the bottom of the solid piece. And then let me grab my glue mat. I threw my stuff over. Oh, I had it right here. Okay. Like so. And I'm going to just position that so that it's up a little higher. All right. Susie says she likes the sound effects. Well, you know, when you craft with me, I sing, I make funny noises, whatever. It's all fun. It's all fun. So this little stamp had some little bits at the bottom that stuck a little. So just these little guys are sticking. There we go. That was the lid of my take your pick tool that just fell on the ground. Okay, so you're going to take this piece and lay it right over the top of that other piece. It fits perfectly. So even though I started with white, and you just want to slide it into place if it's a little off. There. So even though both pieces started white, by sponging it, Becky, don't give away my secrets. Let's see. What was I going to say? So by adding a little bit of blue, but it's not on blue paper, which I tried, and it was too close to this. So you get the 3 different shades of blue. And I am going to just go ahead and leave this piece like free here. I might tack that down in a little bit, but let's switch over to our piece of crumb cake. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some texture to the from the sand. So this little piece here, and I'm literally just gonna, oh, you guys know I love this, tap, tap, tap. And go ahead and go down like 2/3 of the way, because we don't know exactly where that water is going to come. So that looks really good. We'll shut that for now. And now I'm going to come back in with my, hi Ian. Anne from Vermont just came in the building. All right, so I'm going to see, my piece was a little long. Originally, I cut this at 3, but for the class people, I cut it at 2.5, and that works great because that is about what I'm going to cut off as a 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put my beach towels on because I want to make sure the water doesn't touch them yet. The tide's coming in though. All right, so I've got my little beach towel. Let me, and I will show you where these designer papers came from. And this is the perfect card to use up those scraps that are everywhere. So the orange came from Splashes of Sparkle designer paper, and it was that piece there, but you could have used this one too. That would have been kind of funky. So all those pieces that you don't really know what to do with, this is a great method or great designer paper to use. And this is 1 1/4 wide by 2 inches tall. The yellow came from my Floral Delight, which I believe is sold out. It was on the clearance rack, so it's that one there. I love this paper. I have like 5 packages of it, so people in my class will see it again. Okay, so now that I have my towels down, I know how high up I can go with my water. And that's going to be about a 1/2 inch cut off. So let me go ahead and adhere that. Oops, I didn't need to go off the paper. All that stuff on the side is going to get cut off. Let me grab my glue mat because I went over. All right, so it's 4 1/4 inches wide. Oops, look what I just did. Oh my goodness. All right, you guys, come on now. All right, so this water is getting a little close to the towels, but that's because I just put the water on top of the towels. It's fine. That's part of the fun when you're at the beach, actually, is to put your towel, you know, and then if it comes in, you got to quick get up and move it before you get wet. All right, so now I got to do a little haircut. So I am going to do this outside piece first. Cut that off. And then I'm going to open the fold to cut this side. It's a little thick because this is going through 3 pieces of cardstock on my little snips. Just like that. And that also helped take care of the fuzzies that were on my balmy blue paper. Isn't that fun? That card just comes together and it's so easy. All right, so let's let's do our inside first. I just took away my scratch paper, which I need. So let's see what I did for the inside. I think I just, yep. Okay. I need my big water stamp. And I am going to go full strength and then come right in. Here is where you want to re-ink it though, because you'll have a line where that went in. All right, there's my water. Isn't that fun? And then I'm going to, let me see here, I got my starfish, and because I found my crumb cake, I can do them the right color. I did like triple stamp off of this early espresso on my sample, and that was not the right color. Oops, I got to do my words. My words are in Azure Afternoon. And that just looked nice and bright. Oh, Stephanie said she can hear the waves crashing in. That's great. And Susie wants a pina colada. Woo! Nice. All right, so I'm just stamping this, hoping your day is perfect, like that. And I can close this. Oh no, I need that one. I can close this one. All right, so I've got my little, scrap strip of the white. Hi, Kathy. Hey, Mom. Kathy's on. Matthew's and Christopher's mom. She's watching too, and she's at Christopher's house right now. Christopher is my nephew. All right, so I got my happy birthday. That's done. Now I want to do my let's see, do I want to go, I think I'm going to stamp them off. Just like that. There. She says, hi, Mom. She says, hi, Jean. My mom's name is Jean, and she has 2 N's and an E in her name. So sometimes she got called Jeannie, which is fun. All right, so let's just go ahead and attach this, and this card is done. So I've got this one. Let me get this out of the way. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh, we almost had an upside down card for some lucky person, because you know what? I actually send those kind of cards because it will bring a smile to somebody's face. All right, so let's do this. Let's get rid of that one. And I need to pop up on this, and we still need to make our umbrellas too. All right, so I've got my pop-ups on my happy birthday. And so when you get your package, the way I cut out, I did 2 solids, a solid and a solid, okay? And so the die here cuts out, let me just find all my pieces here. So the die, one die cuts out the base, you know, like the big part of the umbrella, and the other does the decoration. So it looks like this with all the pieces in the middle, like so, okay? And so every other one makes your umbrella shape. So this one I used the very middle and then skip one and then the outside. So now I want to use the outside piece, skip one, that would be that one. Let's see, and then take the inside, the next inside one, and then this would go here. And that's how you make your umbrellas. So that's pretty nice that the inside piece, I don't need to make that one, I need to make this one. The inside piece, or this piece, you can use for both umbrellas. It took me a little while to figure that out. But then once I did, it made my cutting much easier because you can only cut one layer. Yeah, I like to double my die cutting sometimes and cut 2 at once. But this, because they're so small and intricate, it doesn't let you do that. So, but the base part you can cut 2. These 2 pieces. You can cut 2 at once. So theoretically, because the white gives you 2 umbrellas, and if you stack these, you get 2. So it goes pretty fast. That's what I'm trying to say. The long way around. All right, and then this little bit of glue. This would be perfect for adhesive sheets, but I wasn't thinking when I die cut them until I got just about done. And I didn't want to have some people in the class get adhesive sheets and some not, because everybody likes to have kind of the same supplies. All right, see the difference in my umbrellas now? Kind of like an optical illusion, right? And then I just put a dimensional in the center of each one. This one I did yellow, or darling duckling, but I liked the, hey Kimberly, thanks for popping on. I like to have, I thought the pink looked better actually, so just funky colors all around, right? So let's see here. We're going to do now, the hardest part is where to place your umbrellas. Do I want the green with that and this one with that? Nope, I'm going to put the pink nearest to the water, like so, and my green. This is actually lemon lime twist, and this pink is the melon mambo color, so that's kind of fun. And we'll tuck that kind of far up in the corner. The waves are coming in. Oh, thanks. I'll check it after I get done, Kim. And I'm just going to tuck this down right here, and that will help hold that the waves down. There you go. Card number 2, pretty easy, huh? I love it. Oops, you know what? I got to keep one of these cards out, because if I put them all away and then at the end of the night, we're going to be looking for them. That was the other one we made. All right. Let me move that away and we'll do our last card for the night. All right. Now this one is easy, but it's tricky. So tricky can be easy. But I messed it up and had to redo it a couple of different times. So I suspect that might happen to people when they come to the class. And it involves this, the opening. So this one is right out of the catalog. This is shown right with the stamp set. This was my own idea. And this one I saw from my friend Cindy, who participated in a swap, and she showed me her cards. So this one is not my original. I don't know who was the woman that made it, but we're going to use another new stamp set that's coming out on May 5th. So let me show you the pieces. This is minimal supplies, minimal supplies. So you have a scrap of basic beige. Oh, we can get our umbrellas out of the way here. They're fun to look at, but we don't need to see them. Okay, just a scrap of basic beige. This is my inside piece, 4 by 5 1/4, and this is going to be my beachy part. Okay, so this scrap, what you're going to stamp on is, and this is where I lost my pecan pie, and I have not found it. So I found the my crumb cake. Not so lucky with the pecan pie so far, but luckily pecan pie is very popular in the paper pumpkins, so I had one. All right, let's do our stamping first. Let's pull out what we're going to stamp in the basic beige. I'm going to stamp the chair, the cup, and the bird. But I'm not stamping all of that in pecan pie, just the chair. So I'm going to go ahead and tap, tap, tap all around. And I'm going to stamp it like so. That's perfect. Let me just clean that. Then I'm going to use Smoky Slate for the coffee cup and my bird. So you can fit it all on this scrap, which is nice because you can go to the die cutting machine one time and get all your die cutting done, as long as you don't put them too close. So let me just put that away. And my speckle stamp. Okay, so then this here does not need any coloring at all. So I liked it just plain, but we need to color our birds. So I got out two Stampin' Blends. This is the Dark Pool Party. And I'm going to do my whole cup in that. Because it's basic beige, it kind of mutes the dark. So the light was almost too light. So I'm going to just go ahead and do it all in Dark Pool Party, and then I have light Smoky Slate. And I'm going to do my saucer with the light Smoky Slate. And I'm just going to, for my bird, I'm just going to rub, just kind of like add a little color. And I'm going to just try to get the beak. And then if you need to tone down any of the places, just go over it with the Smoky Slate, or yeah, the Smoky Slate. All right, and then you take your dies from this awesome die set. I didn't even tell you what the name of this bundle was. Relaxing Waterside. Oh my gosh, this is great. It's also got a Father's Day in there too, so that's kind of neat. And then Here's to a New Chapter. That's perfect for retirees, a graduation. You can say, relax, here's to a new chapter. Today is your day, that kind of thing. So, and then the dies cut out the chair, which we need that, our bird, and the coffee cup. But you can also cut your own chair out of like DSP, and it would go together like that. Like this would go inside the tab like that and attach. And you got a different back here too. So you can make your own chair without stamping it, but the stamp was great. So I'll take the stamp. All right. So then we're going to put these on. And let's see here. We've got this goes there. This one goes there. And right? The magic of television. We've got it already cut out. All right. So this is how it gets laid out. But this is how it looks after it's cut. So now we've got our pieces are ready to go. And we got to work on the actual card. So I'm just going to set the pieces there. This is my inside, so let's put that with that. And then I have my my beach scene is going to just get torn. You can make it go up and down the hill, you know, kind of like come down on a slant at the end. I gave you a bigger piece than you need, so you can just kind of, I like that a little bit of difference here, so I'm gonna probably do something like that. And then we have to punch out the hole. So this is a 2 1/4 inch circle punch, which is retired, but you can use the 2 3/8. I found that the 2 was too small, in my opinion. I put the punch all the way in, and just punch out. So you got a circle that you can use another time, and then that's going to be my little window here. Okay, we'll talk about that in just one moment. Now I need to do my stamping, and I'm going to use Pretty Peacock with this nice tall grass. And here's the problem. It's really easy to overdo. Let me show you what overdo looks like. Overdo looks like that. Kind of a mess. Even if you hide some of it with the chair, way too much grass in that scene. So this is what not to do. Let's see if we can do it the correct way. So what I did was I started, and you got to make sure, you remember your sand is going to be about here. So you want to start it not too high, but not at the bottom, because all these little grasses get hidden. So I'm going to just kind of eyeball it. So stamp full strength, half strength. I don't know why I went down so low, but that's all right. And then full strength, half strength. And then I'm going to come in like so, full strength. So that looks pretty good. And then when I put my sand on, all of my bits and pieces are hidden. So I'm gonna need this, but I don't want to get it right now. So let me go ahead and attach this. I'm gonna add a little bit of glue. Susie says yeah, that does kind of look like a wheat, doesn't it? And you know what I just remembered? Before I do that, I want to stamp my cattails. So I have to bring in my pecan pie again. And I'm going to just stamp them next to some of the darker ones, because I think that looks really good. Especially since they're going the opposite direction. It's nice to have that contrast. That was a little close, but that one will probably not show with the chair, because the chair is going to go there, and you know what that means. I'm back to rhyming. All right, so I've got my grass, I've got my beach or my ground. It doesn't have to be beach, it can just be a sand dune. That's the look I was going for, is a sand dune. So you always want to turn it over and cut from the back. Did you see I just didn't do it that way? And I'm lucky I didn't cut my card into my card by doing that. All right, so now I've got my chair. This is going to go just like this. It's going to overlap a little bit of the circle. Not too much, but just a little bit, because that gives it some interest. And see how nice I got a little bit of the brown cattail showing through right there? So that looks good. And I did not pop that up. The only thing popped up is the coffee cup and the bird. And let's see here. Yeah, that looks really inviting is what it looks like. Don't you think? Makes you want to go sit down on an Adirondack chair and have a nice cup of coffee. And you know I am all about coffee. All right, so I've got my cup. My cup is there and my birdie is right here. So I just cut a dimensional in half and used a half on each piece. And my bird just goes like that. All right, so the outside of my card is done. Now for the tricky part. Let me show you. This is Pool Party cardstock. I forgot to tell you that. Pool Party and then pecan or Pretty Peacock ink. So put your piece down where it's centered, but don't adhere it in case you have to flip. So you kind of lay it in position like a dry fit. And then I closed it. Keep it steady, except when you got to open up your ink pad because you forgot. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Today is Your Day first, because that's the widest stamp, but I need to make sure it fits in the window. So I am going to just go like that. Then I'm going to come in with the Relax. The Relax can kind of center over it or a little to the left or the right, wherever you want it, just like that. And then I need the bird. So you're holding your window shut while you're doing this. And if you don't have enough room for your bird because you did your words too high, don't worry, but open your card and you want to have your bird where it's not going to show. Because on a couple of my practice ones, I had like this much of the bird showing, and that looked kind of dumb. So I am just going to go and see. I am close, really close. So I am going to open this up. Actually, let me redo it so I do it the right way. Okay. How about we do the bird? I'm going to put the bird as high up as I can go, like so. Then I'm going to do my This Is Your Day, and I'm going to put that as low and to the right as I can fit it. Then in the middle comes your Relax, and I really like that as a better way to say it. And then you can move your Relax so that you're not on top of the bird, or the bird's not on top of it. So you can do Relax. I'm just going to kind of do it like that. That came out really good, guys. I'm happy. All right, now we're going to texturize, because you see that little bit of texture? So let's go ahead, and this is from Nature Symphony. It's this texture stamp. I love that so much. You need to remember to stamp off. So 3 generations gives you those 3 colors, and I'm going for light. I don't want to have it be too close to the Relax color. So I'm going to do it kind of like that. 1, 2, this is 3, like so. 1, 2, like so. So only some of it is going to show through the window, but it looks good. Actually, I need a little bit at the top. My bird looks a little left out. We'll just do it a little above the bird. Okay, so this is where you got to know when to stop, right? I went a little crazy there. All right, let me see if I put any other thing. I did. I put one more big grassy thing. Like so. I probably wouldn't go that heavy with this texture. Let me see if I can fix this at all. if I take my bird like so, I'm just going to see if I can fix this because I don't like that I made that grass so big. The bird is from the same set. It's all the relaxing Waterside. This will be available May 5th. All right, so now I need my bird. Here's my bird. I'm going to get it close to the relax. Like that. And I bet. So just barely, it's not, the wing is behind the opening, and that's okay. So now let's do this again, and I am going to really stamp off 3, let's go. Yes, so 3 stamp offs, 2, 3, and go like that. Because you just want a bare, just a little bit of something, something, like so. There. That looks good. All right. So now I have it on both sides. You can pick which way you like it. This is a little too, it's too dark and too much. This is better. I still have quite a bit of the lines, but they're not, because they're stamped off so light. They are really nice and light. See, I really like that. That's like 5 generations. So that's going to be my problem spot in my class. I will bet you a nickel right now. All right, so my grass, and then I'm just going to attach this card. Let me shut the ink pad, and let's see now. This is the side that I didn't want, so I'm going to put my glue on that side. I forgot I don't like to use glue on my white because sometimes you get bumpy lines behind it. I forgot. All right, so this card, I just need to add some gems. And the gems are these really beautiful, they go with the Sunset Coast, the Scenic Coast collection, and they're just really sparkly sequins. And this is great because these whitish ones against the green there look green, and that's what I was going for. So I did 1 big, 1 small, and let's see here, like so, and then I did another small one up on the top. Move that up a little bit. There. Okay, what do you think, you guys? That is don't you just want to have a cup of coffee and go sit outside in an Adirondack chair and listen to quiet, read a book? All right, we have an Adirondack. We have 2 on our deck, and it's just great to come home from work, sit outside, have a drink of water or a cup of coffee, whatever you want, and just have quiet. Waterside, it's relaxing Waterside. Waterside Retreat is the designer series paper. I kept mixing up the names. So those are the cards we made tonight. I hope you guys thought those were fun. Donna, let me know if you're coming on Saturday, please. And these are the cards we're going to be making. But I'm only having the morning class, just so you know. Okay, let me come back. I did list the supplies in the description. If you go to show more, I actually listed all the supplies this time. Don't always do that. Hey, Cindy! I used your inspiration So for my card, and this one's right out of this is an online exclusive set, but it's right off of the advertisement for the set. And then this was my own idea. All right, let me come back and say bye to y'all. Bye-bye. Have a great rest of your night and happy weekend. And we'll see you Sunday for the scrapbooking. I'm coming along with our on stage, and they just make me laugh. So really fun. So I will